All right, how's it going, everybody? We're gonna bring the love me some good music, good sound, but we'll bring it down here and get right to it. All right, this is a shout out to Tom Homan. Buddy, sign me up. Come on. All right, so it's popping off all over the world. So this is like 2 hours old. They're screaming in England, Charlie, Charlie, Charlie. And Europe is really super freaky, like when it comes to this whole authoritarian thing. In Paris, during COVID, they were just so ready to be like, Monsieur, where is your papers? They locked down that city like they've done it before for 1,000 years. So we're gonna just, the way that works in Chicago, they've been rigging elections here since since Mayor Daley. So the politicians and the people, there's always been a divide. And so I want to show you the news media here in Chicago is just super hilarious. Watch. Let me bring down the sound all the way. Here we go. Oops, sorry. You need sound. Where's her sound, man?
Here behind us.
Here it is. Okay, so
Countdown number 6.
Oops, we got another thing going down in here. All right.
Protesters have been here since before 7 o'clock. This gate you see here behind us, that's the entrance to the facility. When we see officers in uniform come out of that gate, that's when protesters are more on alert. It appears they come in with white vans and drop off detainees in that area. Several times we've seen protesters clash with ICE officers as that was happening. At one point we saw officers shoot off a couple of pepper balls and then shove some protesters and then back into the gates. We'll show you some of the messages written here on the ground directly in front of the entrance gate. Protesters have used chalk to write these messages. You see.
Isn't that cute? Protesters with chalk. Okay, so like. Here's how they protest here's how they protest in Paris, in Chicago. There we go.
Everything, cried the protesters. And
that's a protest.
Response from
in France, they call it a manifestation.
The disruption has been widespread in Paris and many major cities.
So here in Chicago, they're going, oh, the protesters at the ICE facility brought chalk.
America was built on immigrants, and then just above it, it says, love thy neighbors. Protesters here saying that they're here to stand up for the people.
Okay, and check this out. This right here. This guy right there. Legend. Legend.
That are being detained and brought to this facility. And then just behind us there's a man waving an American flag. He's at least one counter protester we've seen here. He tells me he's here to stand up for America. He says he's a patriot, considers himself an activist, and thinks we need to vet who is allowed to come into this country. And he does not like seeing all the negativity against ICE agents right now.
Legend. That was awesome. Where's my boom? There we go. That was outstanding. That dude. Oops. Just standing there with his flag. So, if you look, okay, Tommy Boy, Tom Homan, if you're listening, you see this? 18 people are supporting. I don't know if I can actually read this. They're too small. It's too small for me to read, actually. There's no way to kind of bring. But they're all in support of the Trump's agenda, right? And you can just go, Mike Ditka supports the coach. The coach, come on. The coach supports the mega agenda. All right? Erlicher, pure excitement has taken over after the Trump election. Everybody doing the MAGA dance. Okay, so this is all right. Samurai Mike Singletary with the president. So, you have, okay, it's so hilarious. Look. Okay, let's see, what is she? We'll bring down the sound.
Protesters showed up a little earlier this morning. We're told they plan to be there most of the day.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
Shame on you. Look, what a joke. A bunch of retirees with pride flags.
Shame on you, blared out from the demonstrators standing.
And see how the news media is portraying this?
At one point, we did see ICE agents pushing protesters back from that building as they worked to let multiple vehicles out. Here you see some of the conflict there. This interaction between a protester and an agent was caught on camera. We also know protesters there are saying that the immigrant community is being
bunch of Karens. And so you can see right here, right there, all the and it's really difficult to watch this type of feed because it's just I'm surprised no commercials, but yeah, the comments and all of these fake news sites are all pro MAGA. So my shout out to Mr. Homan is the support is there. Bring me on board as your public affairs specialist in Chicago, and we'll unite all of these voices. We'll interview the coach, okay? We'll interview the coach. All right. We'll interview Erlicher. We'll interview Mike Singletary. You get these voices heard. And so that's just a quick rundown. Once again, it's popping off, and the time is now. We're all done. We're all sick of this. Back in the Middle Ages, you the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost feel guilty for Jesus, feel guilty for Jesus, and then, right, so then God is dead, Jesus died for somebody's sins, but not mine, right? Well, slaves pick cotton for somebody's sheets, but not mine. I don't feel guilty. Blacks, women, and gays, oh my. Blacks, women, and gays, oh my. We're done. I don't feel guilty about you know. This is how it works. You don't dictate to me where my heart bleeds. All right? What about the 60 million Chinese that died in the Great Leap Forward? I can't feel guilty. I can't weep for them. What about the 30 million Ukrainians that Stalin starved to death? I can't weep for them. You're going to dictate to me where I weep? So now Jesus is out of fashion, so we got to weep for slaves, women. That's the Trinity? That's the Trinity? We're done. All right? You want to weep for your group? You weep. You don't tell me where my heart bleeds. Right? So, Tom, Mr. Homan, if you're out there and you see this, we need to. Momentum is everything. In business and in life, they're screaming in London today. Charlie James Cook. CJK. Doesn't that sound good? MLK, JFK, CJK. CJK. All right. Got a lot to do today. Thanks for watching. Once again, let's bring law and order to Chicago. You wanna you wanna have a bleeding heart? All those poor kids on the west side, literally a couple of miles, right down the street from just down, from the loop. You got kids dying every day, right? Black ghetto kids without any hope of the American dream. What about them? Aren't we don't want to protect them? Just want to, this nation was built by immigrants. And in the comments, somebody wrote, "This nation was built by slaves." So the black community does not like being playing second fiddle to this now. It's like transgenders, and we weep about immigrants and transgenders. That's the designated feel guilty, the pity party, designated pity party. And when I was growing up, it wasn't immigrants and transgenders. It was blacks, women, and gays. That was the pity party. And before that, Jesus, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. That was the pity party. We're done. We're done with the pity party. You don't dictate to anybody where their heart bleeds. All right, Tommy, sign me up, buddy. All right, I'm done ranting. Have a great Saturday. Au revoir.